Hello and welcome. Hope you're getting ready for the weekend. I am back with another episode of Now Showing, where I take a look at films that are coming up or are in the theater. And that's the case as I look at the big one for this holiday weekend, and that is Godzilla X Kong, the new empire. By now we have seen everything when it comes to Godzilla and King Kong. For decades, we've seen them lead stories on the big and even sometimes the small screen. But the modern incarnation of their franchise is now a decade old and 5 films deep. Still, the franchise finds new ways to surprise and entertain. The latest entry, Godzilla X Kong, the new empire, picks up a few years after the last clash of these titans. Kong is happily living in the Hollow Earth. He's still looking for his family, but is becoming increasingly isolated. Godzilla, meanwhile, is roaming the surface, holding back rogue titans, and, on occasion, destroying major cities. Kong isn't the only one who feels isolated. While Dr. Andrews, Rebecca Hall, continues her work with Kong and the Hollow Earth as part of Monarch, her adopted daughter, Gia, played by Kaylee Hoddle, feels alone as the last of her tribe. She also starts to feel a pull from the Hollow Earth, but she doesn't know why. Andrews turns to Bernie Hayes. You may remember him from Godzilla vs. Kong, played by Brian Tyree Henry. She wants to help get answers about a mysterious signal that has her team and her daughter flummoxed. She turns to an old friend, Trapper, played by Dan Stevens, to render some medical aid to an ailing Kong. Soon, it seems they'll all need to head to the Hollow Earth, who could have guessed that, for answers as to whatever is calling Gia and also rankling Godzilla on the surface. There, they find surprises and even bigger threats to the world. Kong and Godzilla aren't strong enough to stop what's coming on their own, but together, they just might have a chance. Can these once rivals actually join teams? I think we all know the answer here, and that's what we're all here for. We want to see these titans come together. We want to see them battle other titans. These films have actors and human characters, but we're long past the point of wondering who the stars of the franchise are. The stars are the ones that are called out in the title. In this film, Hall, Huddle, and Henry all return from the last installment. We've had a lot of different actors cycling through these films, but I did enjoy Hall and her dynamic with Huddle. I thought that was kind of a fun human story. Meanwhile, Henry and Stevens are there for a bit of fun and some comic relief. The story is sometimes bloated, but it's ultimately fun enough. The film clocks in just under 2 hours and it moves at a good pace with plenty of action. When Godzilla and Kong come together in the third act, it's definitely exciting. When they team up to save the world, it will leave you cheering. This film isn't deep. It isn't concerned with making it all make sense. It's here to deliver some action and let you have an escape, and it works at that level. Adam Wingard, who directed Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021, brings that same energy here. It's got a great look, some fun action sequences, and enough human scenes and emotion to keep you invested. I like this movie a lot more than I expected. It's a kick of a ride. It's something well worth seeing on the big screen. As I mentioned, it's now in theaters. Wide release is Friday, but it's Thursday night. It is out now. I'm giving it 3.5 stars out of 5. Before I get out of here, I wanted to talk about the Monsterverse. This is now, as I mentioned, the 5th film in the franchise. So where does it fall in the rankings? If you checked out my binge watch this week, you saw me rank the other ones. I'll give you a quick rundown. Now number 5 for me is Kong Skull Island. It's a fine film. It arguably has the most loaded cast of any of these. You have Brie Larson, you have Tom Hiddleston, Samuel L. Jackson. Half the MCU apparently is in this, and John Goodman. It's a fun film. It's fine for what it is, but it's at the bottom for me. Then at number 4, I have the original to this, the first film in this franchise, which was Godzilla. Aaron Taylor Johnson, Bryan Cranston, Elizabeth Olsen. We basically only saw him in that one film. It was a decent start and entry point into the world, but that's kind of all it is. Now, number 3 for me is Godzilla vs. Kong in 2021. I like the action. I like the stakes. I like the third act. I kind of liked all the vibe of that. Number 2 now for me is Godzilla X Kong, the New Empire. You know what? It had all the same kind of fun things that made Godzilla vs. Kong work, but I like the human storylines a little bit more here. I like it being a little bit more focused. And I know this is probably going to be a controversial pick, but number 1 for me, still in the Monsterverse, is the 2019 film Godzilla King of the Monsters. Millie Bobby Brown, Kyle Chandler, Vera Farmiga. We didn't really get to see a lot of that story continued in Godzilla versus Kong, but I liked what it set up in Godzilla King of the Monsters. I liked the visuals in that. I liked the pace. I know that's the longest film. A lot of people have that as the low point in the franchise, but for me, it just works. So maybe I'm an outlier. So that's 3.5 stars for Godzilla X Kong, which is out in theaters now. And that gives you a look at how I feel about the franchise. Hope you guys have a wonderful weekend and steer clear of those Titan battles.